Welcome back everybody to the Team Liquid Legacy Star League round of 16. We are about to go into the final match of Group C, a TVP between Terra and Droll. But first, a shout out to our sponsors, Razer and Twitch TV. They are super duper awesome for making all of this possible, and a huge thanks to Team Liquid as well, putting on the show.
Yes, indeed. And tonight I'm actually sporting my fantastic Team Liquid t-shirt. I don't know if you can see that on stream.
Oh, stand up, Elegant, stand up!
See if we can get the action.
Oh, yeah, good times, good times.
Protoss power. Yeah, the Protoss force. It loves me and I love it. But yeah, big thanks to all those guys. They make it the world go round. The world of
Actually, speaking of the horse shirt, the Euro store is going to open next week. Did you see that announcement?
Yeah,
and it's in the UK, so we get like super cheap shipping. Oh, it's amazing. I've actually been waiting for that to open just so I can get my hoodie. Because I ordered my shirt a while ago, but the hoodies like were sold out in my size, so I couldn't get one. But then when they restocked, I was like, oh, I don't want to like pay for the shipping just for the hoodie. So I was like, okay, I'll just wait for the Euro store. And finally the time has come for me to get a TL hoodie.
You're all over
That's
it.
good.
Yeah. I might go on that with you, I think. It's going to be exciting.
It's pretty crazy or it's sad rather, because in England it's always so cold. No, it's, okay. It's sad because in England it's always so cold, right? So I can't just go outside in my t-shirt. I have to like put a jacket on. So nobody can see the Team Liquid shirt. But if I get a hoodie, then I can have that on the outside and people can see it.
Yeah, and also we're getting to spring now, so there's going to be more of a mix of weather. So you can be representing in all weathers. And that's
exactly.
It's true fanboyism.
Okay, cool. So now on to the final match. A PBT once again, a rematch from set number 2. Droll versus Terror. Can Droll pull it out this time? Are we going to get at least one Protoss? Or are we going to have both of them kicked out in a single group? That'd be quite sad, wouldn't it?
That would be miserably depressing. I mean, Droll nearly had it last time. He was in a position where he looks like he should have had it. All credits to Terror for coming back into that. But when Droll beat back that big push, I thought he was all over it. But he just under-gatewayed at the top left-hand corner and fell because of it. So hopefully a better performance from him right there. But if Terror can take out Droll, then you have to give it to him. I mean, Droll has been such a strong contender throughout this tournament. And any player who beats him, you know, thoroughly deserves to go through.
Indeed, indeed. So, yeah, I think people are probably eager to see this match. So let's just go straight into it, Elegant.
Yes, let's do it.
Alright, and here we are in the final match. At the top right, as the yellow Protoss, we have Droll, and the top left, as the white Terran, we have SJ Terror.
Yes, we do. And to clarify that, it's not the final match of tonight. It's the final match of Group C.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Sorry.
Don't go tuning out after this. Don't go losing the will to live, because there's going to be more. And then subsequently lose the will to live, go to sleep, realize that there's plenty more weeks of this stuff, and then regain your lust for life. There is going to be plenty more Brood War coming at you tonight. But this one is going to be the decider of whether we're going to have Terra or Droll going through into the next round. It's very, very exciting stuff. In a group of 2 Protosses, you might be about to see both of them crash out. And you know me and Sale, you know just how sad that would make us.
Indeed, it would make me very sad. Although, on the other hand, I mean, I love Terra as well.
Yeah,
I love
absolutely.
both of these guys, you know, and we need strong Terrans as well in the tournament. So it's like, my heart is torn right now.
It's very difficult, actually, isn't it? Because
oh, man. I feel like that girl from Twilight, you know, and Droll's the vampire guy, and then like Terra's the werewolf guy. I don't know which guy to go for, Elegant. I don't know which guy to go for.
Are your diamond shoes okay as well? Yeah, I can't say I've actually
okay,
watched
I feel bad now. I just compared a Brood War game to Twilight. Now I just feel bad. I feel like a terrible person.
Oh, don't worry, Sal. It could happen too.
By the way, speaking of that what you were just saying about how people shouldn't tune out. It reminds me of a hilarious thing that somebody said where, you know, in the last Pro League, like Pure Brood War Pro League finals between SKT and KT, where it went down to Game 7 and it was like Bisu versus Flash in a ridiculous game, and Bisu looked like he lost, and then, Bisu looked like he lost and then he came back. Apparently, some guy actually just tuned out and closed the stream when he thought BC lost the game and just went to bed because he was like some SKT fan. And he was like, he couldn't bear to watch the end of the game anymore, so he just like closed the stream. And then he woke up in the morning and he sees all these, you know, crazy people in the live report there. And he's like, wait, how did he come back? And he actually just missed the whole thing. I was just like, oh, dude, of all the times to just rage quit.
That is a ridiculous thing to do. As a true fan, what you do then is you sit in front of your computer crying and watching every single SKT victory over the years all night long. Not go to bed. What was he thinking? He didn't have it right.
Yeah, it was pretty funny when I saw that. I felt pretty bad for him.
God.
Anyway, it looks like we have a pretty standard opening here so far. And oh, look at this! The SCP scouts are actually going the wrong way despite meeting Droll's probe there in the middle of the map. I guess he kind of assumed from the... Well, I guess he was going cross-map originally, and even though he saw the probe coming in, he didn't actually realize what direction it was or something. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there. Just busy telling my silly story.
Silly? No, that wasn't silly. That was necessary. But yeah, we do have what looks like a Reaver build from... Yes, no! It's DT.
Oh, Droll, no! No, you didn't.
He has lowered himself. The only way this can now be awesome is if it's some kind of weird speed lot attack, but we all know in our hearts that that's not the case. It's going to be DTs. Now it only remains to see whether it can be DT drops or whether it's going to be the normal walking variety. So, yeah, we're going to be seeing that in a second. Now, that was a really weird way of putting it.
It was good, it was good.
Common or garden walking DTs.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll see here. He hasn't actually put a fourth guy on gas. Sometimes you do that if you want to go for the DT drop, just because it's a ridiculous amount of gas to get the Robo and the Archives, and you do get ever so slightly more gas with 4 guys on gas. So it looks like it will just be straight walking DTs, as you said, Elegant. And the Dragoon there blocking the ramp is going to make sure the SCV sees nothing. Meanwhile, it looks like Terrace is going for the standard FD opening exactly as he did in the first game.
See, to me, this looks like more of an expansion-focused build from Draw, given the fact that he hasn't made a second gateway. Because yeah, he's only going to have 1 DT, so it looks like more of a deterrent, and just to hold the Terran back for a while so he can get his own expansion up. I wouldn't imagine it's going to be really something in an attempt to end the game directly, and I think this is a good way for him to make up for the fact that he's gone DTs at all, to make something a little bit clever out of it.
Indeed, and one interesting thing to know, by the way, that I think Podside just pointed out, or somebody in the chat just pointed out, was that there was actually no initial Zealot from Draw. A very common thing to do when you're going for some kind of DT opening, or even a super fast Reaver opening, is to go for that fast Zealot to save gas instead of going straight for the Dragoon. But obviously that tips the Terran off that something weird is going on. So in order to prevent that, instead, Draw just... ooh, wow, almost let the SCV in. Draw instead positioned a probe on the ramp to cover until the Dragoon could get there, so nice little disguise of his build. Meanwhile, it looks like the Vulture coming out, gonna snipe down that probe. Now, it looks like already laying defensive mines, so these are gonna be absolutely critical in stopping this DT. Those are gonna be his only defense right now against both units, and those are the Dragoons. Whoa!
Oh. Wow, clairvoyancy right there. From Mr. Draw. I mean, I would imagine anyway that Draw is going to choose to send his DT around through the 12 o'clock anyway, just to be safe. Because especially since he's seen the Vultures coming out.
Yeah, that's a very valid point, actually. Let's see if he does that. I'm not really sure. It is a slightly longer route, and oh, he sees the Vulture. Oh, he's going to not reveal it. He should not whack the Vulture. He definitely doesn't want to hit that Vulture to reveal that it's there. And it looks like he does. He's just actually holding position there for some reason. He's not actually going around the 12. I don't know why. He sent a probe to the 12 instead. I hope he didn't get them confused and think the probe was a DT. That'd be kind of silly.
I would imagine so, because if a DT idles kind of in the top left-hand corner of an expansion, it's still not,
Oh, he hit the Vulture!
Oh, so DT is revealed, but it looks like this was his plan all along. I think it is really just a deterrent. I mean, he's not even going towards the Terran with it, but frustratingly, he hasn't been able to prevent an expansion at all, so his expansion timing is only level with a Terran.
Oh, he's 2-base arbitering.
He is indeed Mr. Sale, and... yeah, this is a build that can be very, very susceptible in kind of the early stages of the mid game, but can be very
This is going to be really bad for Terra. He's going for the same fast third base. He's got no second factory. He's gone straight for the armory. He's probably going to build a third command center very, very quickly here, and he's just going to get recalled to death here. So 2-base arbiter is very, very versatile. Basically, if you see your opponent go for some heavy kind of 2-base push, you get stasis first and you use that to defend. If you see him going for a fast 3-base build, you get recall. And if you notice, the third base here of the Terran is going to be extremely close by air and by ground actually to the Protoss space. So it's going to be very, very easy for Droll to do some recall, recalling action.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely crucial. And I used to see players go for the fast recall a lot more. More recently, when I've seen this build, I've seen it with a stasis rather than recall, which I've often found quite interesting, because I think one recall can be far more effective than one stasis, if you kind of catch my drift.
Yep. Yeah, I think it really depends on what the Protoss sees, and Stasis seems to be the more common choice. I mean, I guess it's the safer choice, just in case, you know, the Terran just goes for some kind of 6-fact or something, and a recall probably won't save you there. Meanwhile, look at this, Terra is going for a very fast Goliath range upgrade, so, you know, anticipating some kind of drop or something like that. But that's not actually coming. I guess he thought maybe it was some kind of Reaver or something, he just wanted to be safe, but we do now see the third command center going up.
Yeah, we do. So, you know, I actually think this works quite well for Draw, because that first recall, or first stasis as it may be, is going to work well in order to actually be able to take out the early third, so that could work pretty nicely for him, and it takes him out of the danger zone, because as you can see, this build doesn't really include a whole lot of mid-game force. Only now is he starting to go up to more gateways, and it's still only going to be 4. It's not going to be a terrifying number of gateways, so I think this actually worked out quite nicely for him, that Terra is taking an early third.
Oh. Random probe actually going to the 12. I don't know what the heck that was doing there. But Terra's probably a little bit confused about why he doesn't see a third base from Draw. I mean, he's got the Vulture at the 3 o'clock base. He's got a Vulture at the bottom right as well. He's got to be very suspicious. His comsats have finished now. I think I just heard a comsat going down, so presumably he scanned this. It's not exactly very hidden. And of course, you know, a pretty common transition, or basically the most common transition from a DT opening, is to go for 2 base arbiters. So Terra does know about this now. I'm curious to see how he actually reacts. He doesn't really have...
Oh, probe win. Sorry, go on.
Oh, did it kill a Vulture?
Yeah, probe killed the Vulture.
Oh, very nice. And looks like he gets the third base down as well before the second Vulture gets in. But yeah, I mean, Terra, it's not like he even has that many options to really counter the Arbiters anyway. I mean, his third and fourth factories are just now going up, and he's got the third command center as well, but it is slightly risky to actually float it over there. It looks like he's going to do it anyway, even though he presumably knows that the Arbiters are coming.
Yeah, I'd imagine he does. And he's starting to Terra tap now as well. I would think he's going to be able to adequately defend against this, but again, it depends kind of partly on the timings, because he won't want to waste too many mines laying them down in his third base when he knows he needs to be laying them down around the map as well. So it depends on kind of when he thinks the arbiters are going to arrive and how tightly he times it. Sending another Vulture Harass into the right-hand side base, which is going to do some serious damage, especially given that we still don't have any sign of observers yet. So it's going to take Draw to sacrifice some more units to actually get over there and regain that base in the first place. So that's going to be a little bit of an unpleasant situation for him. It's going to cost him at least another Zealot. And he looks like he might actually reveal his Arbiter at the same time, which is curious.
Yeah, I mean, I assume he knows that it's been scanned anyway. I didn't actually see the scan, but I'm pretty sure Terra should know about it by now.
Oh yeah, he should definitely know.
Yeah, so it's not a huge deal that this is being revealed. And you know, as you were saying earlier, that delayed robo, I mean, that's kind of the trade-off you have to make when you go for 2 base arbiter. Of course, going for temporal archives and the arbiters are extremely gas heavy, so you really don't have the gas to go for observers at the same time. You just have to delay it. You don't really have any choice. So just kind of have to suicide zealots, as you said, to clear the mines instead. And meanwhile, it looks like the third base, it has started mining now, and I didn't actually see anything researching in the tribunal yet. Does he already have recall or something? I didn't see anything at all.
I don't think so. I mean, I might have just missed it, because actually Stasis is quite a quick upgrade. But I didn't see anything actually going down. I mean, I think he could have got earlier observers. You can see he's still got a decent amount of gas in the bank, so I don't think early observers would have been out of the question. And I think it really would have helped so far in this game, because the expansion times have been quite far behind, and he hasn't really been able to gain the ground. He was able to do lots of few probes in actually getting over there in the first place. So I think early observers might have been a slightly better shout, but. Yeah, I'm finding it quite difficult to... Oh, we have a Zealot going into the 12 o'clock base, somehow sneaking through. Yeah, I'm finding it quite difficult to figure out what Draw has actually got in mind for this. It looks like he's just going to go for a big burst on the 12 o'clock, which might actually get through. It looks like the wall is Dragoon type, even if it's not Zealot type, which, you know, it isn't. But where is Terra's army? He has nothing but a handful of tanks. He has... Is that 5 siege tanks in total on the map?
Oh man, this Arbiter is taking a lot of damage from the turrets. It's going to pull back. They do have a lot of HP, and it looks like the 5 tanks are actually going to be enough to stop this. It doesn't seem like there's actually any Arbiter spells, curiously enough. There's a second Stargate, but I don't actually know what spells he has. But he must have one by now.
If he had Stasis, he would have been able to take out that base right there. He could have just thrown down a Stasis on the ramp, and he would have just been golden. And the fact that he still isn't making any spells for his Arbiters really confuses me. Yeah. Does he have them both upgraded already?
No, he can't. There's no way he has them both upgraded. At most, he has one. There's no way we could have missed both of the upgrades.
But why would you not? I know it seems ridiculous, but why else could he possibly not be? Okay, now he's making Stasis, but that's taken him a while.
He's making recall. Wait, did he just forget Stasis? Maybe? Could you imagine if he went for the attack on the 12th thinking he had recall or stasis, and he clicked his Arbiter and both spells are grayed out, he's like, ah, shit, and he just runs away? I mean, that could very well be what happened. We have no idea.
Yeah, that's not unthinkable at all, because we can see how much difference stasis would have made in that attack. So if it were in fact a strategy, it was a good strategy. But that could be an explanation for why he just looked a little bit out of ideas so far in terms of using those arbiters. So maybe that is in fact it. Making a nice pylon wall down in the bottom right hand corner as well. That's a pretty efficient pylon wall. Look at that, 3 pylons.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do that with 3 pylons. That's pretty cool.
I had no idea. That doesn't look anything type. It doesn't even look Ultralist type. But apparently it is.
This kind of formation, though, it's very easy to jump it with Vultures and Mines. We saw something similar on Jade, where I think Free did it in a game in Pro League, and the Terran just like pretty easily just got a couple of Vultures through anyway. Yeah, in the meantime, looks like Recall is finally about to finish. The Arbiters are going to have energy, but I wonder if that's part of, like, you know, what was written on his build order sheet that he lost. It was like, remember to research Arbiter spells. And he lost a piece of paper, so now he just doesn't know what to do anymore. Oh man.
Yeah.
It's like isn't there, dude? Do you remember a while ago somebody I think made like a special soundtrack or something? It was like in the SE2 strategy forum. Some guy made like a special audio trainer to help you macro better. So like every 30 seconds it says make probes or something, and then it's like. And then it had like different timings for like larva injects for queens and for making workers and macroing from your production facilities. So I think there was something. I'm pretty sure there was something like that. I'm not just making it up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. Draw needs one of those.
That's a pretty cool idea actually. Although it must be a bit of a weird way to train, but no, that's quite an interesting concept. But yeah, it's so easy for that to happen with Arbiter Tech though, because it can get sidelined a little bit, and it's something you sometimes only remember when you kind of go back to your base anyway and start looking at your tech. It's not something that's that easy to keep in your mental checklist, which is always going. Yep. So I can see how that would kind of get pushed to one side. Draw looks like he's managed to build a pretty significant army, and he's got High Templar already mixed in there as well. I think that's a great move. Don't know why more processors don't do that. I would be happy if he had them in the shuffle, but nonetheless, the High Templar are definitely going to help against any push. But Terra's army, is it really spread out? Because it still doesn't look very big for a guy on 173 supply.
Yeah, I think it's because he just has a lot of units in his main base as well. He's really scared of a recall. You can see he's got mines all over the place.
We have a dropship.
Sieged up. And, where's the dropship?
Down at 6 o'clock, and it's moving over towards the bottom right corner. But it should be alright. I mean, there's a bunch of Dragoons in the natural, so Draw should be okay against that. But Terra starting to show some real initiative. Going to try and do some damage to the probes here, which have just moved in. That can be quite nasty. Let's see if Draw remakes that pylon wall. If he does, he's going to have trouble getting those Dragoons back in there to defend. As the siege tanks go down, landing a few shots on the probes, going to reveal themselves, and only going to grab a couple right there. And now Draw will be able to move his army and defend. But Draw is significantly out of position. If Terra were to push now, then he'd have to run back across the map pretty quickly in order to try and get his positioning back. It looks like those two siege tanks are going to be able to make it out. And a significant vulture cover. Look at all those mines.
Yeah, I gotta say though, overall, oh man, hold that thought. Looks like someone is gonna get taken down here and finally get stopped. It looks like by the cannons. That's gonna take a couple more. All right, there we go. But I gotta say, overall, I'm liking Terra's game a lot more this game because he's got 2 armies right now. He's got his vessels pumping. He's got the Stargate randomly rallied to this armory. I don't know why. I think it's a mistake. But it's looking a lot more smoother than it was in the first set, where we were questioning why he didn't have a second army for a really long time, even though he rushed for the first army, and why he had really delayed vessels. So I think that's definitely going to help in this game. On the other hand, Droll also is looking a lot more stable. He's got his 5 bases up now. Hopefully he doesn't float to 4,000 minerals. He's at 2,000 already, but he's already starting to make these extra gateways at the bottom right base. Ooh, looks like he's made a bit of a wall here. That's probably going to cause some Dragoon issues later on. But otherwise, I think he's in a decent position.
Dragoons have trouble making it across flat ground. How do you think that's going to work? Need to make sure they have a very, very clear... Oh! The dropship goes down, only managing to land 1 siege tank. But that's going to be able to see Jeff. He's going to be able to put a little bit of hassle for Protoss, and it looks like he's going to move his entire army back in order to try and defend that. That's probably not the best idea. He only needs 2 zealots or so. And it looks like, yes, he's going to divert and just going to send 1 Dragoon back, which... Oh no, he's just going to be able to do it with probes. Whilst Terra is pushing out, thank God Draw didn't divert his entire army over there, because Terra is mounting a pretty hefty push. Again, it's not quite as huge as I would have thought maybe it would be. Nice stasis going down. Imagine Cat 1 Science Vessel will be able to get some more decent stasis. That's going to really make a difference.
It's 2-2 against 1-0 though. Terra's hit a very nice timing here, whereas 2-2 upgrades just finished. So he's completely out-upgraded the Protoss, and that's actually going to play a pretty big part here. These T-Tanks now doing 80 damage a shot. It's absolutely ridiculous. Droll, meanwhile, it's funny because even though he's got a bunch of gateways now at the bottom right, his gateway count in his main isn't actually that high. Oh man, using a few random units here. Looks like his army control is getting a little bit wonky. And Terra's just going to slowly but steadily push across the map. Meanwhile, presumably going to go and take 4th base. Yeah, he's got the command center already, just going to float it over and take that 9 o'clock expansion. Yeah,
I'm a little bit concerned because Draw isn't even upgrading anything at his forges at all. They're not working. He's going to fall way behind in upgrades quite soon. He's at 1-1-0, which is not terrible. But against 2-2, he's going to have some trouble. That Terran army is going to be really doing some pretty serious damage. Meanwhile, Draw looking like he's going to swing around to the left and try and play the positional game, try and scare Terra into moving back a bit. But of course, Terra can do a little bit of an army split at this point and just move forward.
Yeah, it looks like Protoss is going to counter here. Elegant, you've died again. But, oh, and he's actually going to be successful in pulling back the Terran. So, looks like Terran's just going to leave a handful of units here to start seeking down the natural while the rest go in. Looks like a random recall into the space between the 3rd and the natural. Looks like Droll was scared of recalling on top of Spider-Mine, so he recalled into a bit of an out-of-the-way position and is now, going to maybe do some mind drags into these SCDs. Very, very cute recall position there. And looks like going to try and save this. No, the 1 full energy arbiter goes down, but it looks like the rest of the army is going to be able to deny this 4th base. And the Stella's doing a lot of damage here in the 12 o'clock position. Meanwhile, the 2 tanks still sieging down his own natural, though. A lot of action going down all over the map here. How is Terra going to cope?
Yeah, I think Terra's suddenly looking like he's in a little bit of a questionable position. Draw still has a pretty significant army left on the map, although his supply is dwindling a little bit versus the 184 supply of Terra. So once Terra regroups, he's going to have quite a terrifying army. Dematrixing the tanks in the natural will mean they're going to be able to survive, and some pretty significant fire from the reinforcements coming out from Draw. And so Terra actually, once his army recollects, is going to be in a great position. Draw has just spent quite a lot of his troops on trying to take out that 12 o'clock base. Hasn't been able to do too much. He was able to take out the left-hand side base.
He's building nexuses everywhere, Elegant. He was floating like 4,000 minerals again. And now he's just like, well, I just better make some bases then, because my army's dying. Yes. Oh, he's going to get some storms off, though. He's going to get a lot of storms off on the approaching tanks. He's got so much energy. Oh, man, I think he could have done a couple more there, but good damage nonetheless.
Yeah, I think he probably could.
Oh, no! GG!
Really?
What? Elegant. We've lost 2 Protosses. Oh no!
Was that too early to GG?
No, I think he lost anyway. He had like no units, and Terra was going across the map, but still. Oh man, it is a sad, sad.
Oh no! Dale, this couldn't have gone more wrong. I thought we were guaranteed to have a little bit of joy at least.
Matt, I am surprisingly happy given that 2 Protosses just got eliminated. I think this is more funny than anything. I can appreciate the hilarity of the situation, especially with a Protoss complaining about TVP.
Wow. So Draw, after looking so impressive in the earlier stages, bites the dust right there against Terra twice. Twice. After beating out Doty.
Oh,
God damn it, Draw.
Doty, I think, would have had a slightly better shot in the PvP. Well, maybe not, actually, because he got owned in the PvP. Although it was a slight builder advantage, though, for Draw there.
Yeah, well...
But, that means we will have Eon Zerg and Terror advancing to the round of 8. Draw and Doty are eliminated. So, yep, sad times for them, but congrats to Eon Zerg and Terror.
Congratulations indeed, and we have a Terran going through, which, you know, is a good thing. Yep. So that warrants a cheer. Go on, Sal, you can have that. That's a good time. Woo! So it's not all doom and gloom, and it's going to be just about time for us to move on to the next group, I believe.
Indeed. I see people tuning out already. Stop it! There's one more group.
Don't be tuning out, guys. We've got loads more to come. We've got fantastic players such as Skyline, True Touch, DeWalt, and Rams to show you. I mean, this is going to be good stuff.
It is indeed. It's one of every race. Terran, Protoss, Zerg, and random. Well, not really random, but race bigger. But close enough. Yeah, close enough. So that's going to be super exciting, and we'll bring you guys the next group after this break.
Yes, indeed.